Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of why influencers suck. So for this video, I'm going to talk about the topic of why influencers suck when it comes to how they're having a negative effect on entertainment as a whole in a simple and straightforward way so anyone can understand it. So now that I've mentioned it, let's get started. So when it comes to the negative effect influencers have as a whole when it comes to entertainment or the media, whatever you like to say, is that they just promote anti-capitalism ways of thinking, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the media we watch, whether it's TV shows, movies, even video games, and, even videos made by people who are successful YouTubers, the selling of a better life to people, okay? In other words, talking about the life of being successful, rich and famous, in other words, to sum it up, successful is something that makes entertainment more enjoyable, okay? It's a common theme in media because it offers something that not only sells a fantasy to people to make obviously our everyday boring lives most of us live. Let's keep it real. I'm not trying to talk shit about you guys. I'm just gonna be honest. Most of us do live very boring, mundane lives, okay? And the idea and showing people being rich makes life more interesting, okay, for the everyday person. It sells a fantasy to people that makes things interesting, and it also encourages character development and entertainment because it's very interesting for people to watch the idea of someone being at the bottom to going to the top. It just makes things more interesting. That's just how humans work, okay? It makes things interesting because just the idea of, I can't believe someone who is here made it up to here, okay? In other words, capitalism sells, when it comes to entertainment, okay? It makes the story of a character way more interesting than if they just stay at the bottom all the time, okay? That's honest truth of the matter, okay? It just makes things more interesting, and that's the truth, okay? But the problem is, and this is where the influencers come to mix, is that the problem with due to these influencers, whether it could be travel influencers, another one could obviously be maybe food influencers, another one could be makeup influencers, whatever type of influencers you can imagine, is they just give the idea of having a better life, in other words, being successful, like rich and famous, a bad name. Because when we see how these influencers act, and oh my god, are they so damn fucking annoying. All it really does is just really make people actually think, you know what, man, if people are actually going to act like this in order to become famous and rich, but specifically in this case for these influencers are famous, then I really, really, really think maybe we should end capitalism as a whole. And that's the thing I'm trying to get across here, okay? Is that these influencers have a very negative effect on entertainment, which how it relates to entertainment, because of how damn annoying these people are, is that it can encourage a culture where people will say, we're not going to write TV shows, we're not going to write movies, we're not going to have YouTube channels that talk about being rich and famous and stuff like that, because it promotes, people to want to act, to act a certain way, like these influencers fucking do, which is really, really, really lame. Because the thing about the idea of the promise of being rich and famous is that it sells a fantasy that helps make the story more enjoyable to people, okay? Even aside from, the idea of putting yourself in someone else's place, like just the curiosity of how would it be like if I was rich. It's just the fact that, to sum it up, it helps develop character. It builds character development in a story to make it more interesting. Who wants to hear a story about someone who's a soldier and stays a soldier his whole life versus he's a soldier in an army serving in the kingdom of Wizigov or something, I don't know, but who wants to hear that story, okay, versus he's a soldier who is a story in the kingdom of Wizigov who then becomes king. It just makes things more interesting for people. But if more likely that obviously people are going to look at this stuff in entertainment and say that this is like propaganda, just promoting, glamorizing, you know, people acting this way in order to, of course, become famous. And if people are going to be this damn annoying and this fucking irritating, maybe we should take that away. And that sucks, you know. And a perfect example, if you still don't understand what I'm saying, is music. Just like music, one of the biggest things that makes music so entertaining, specifically rap, is the idea of the rags to riches story. It helps build the character of the artist you're listening to, you know, that they're trying to sell to you, okay? But the thing is, if you have all these people, these influencers who act so damn annoying, and it's like, I'm trying so hard to get your attention that I'm willing to stoop to these extreme lows, everything from just being annoying to the general public, just to piss people off because they want attention, to doing stupid things as well, in order to get their stuff to be put on the internet and all that type of stuff, like maybe, like, for example, they'll screw up monuments, historical monuments, or natural wonders and all that stuff, like all those type of things. Okay, if influencers are going to do those things, it's going to piss a lot of people off and say, you know what, if you guys are willing to stoop to such a low for money and fame and stuff, then maybe we should just take those things away from the media, with a good example being, of course, music. Let's stop having music that talks about being rich and successful, which would kill the ability to enjoy the music, let alone any other form of media, like TV shows, movies, video games, and even vlogs, made by people who are actually not losers. So it sucks to think that something that actually helps make entertainment actually the most enjoyable could be taken away from us because of idiots like that, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. These influencers are so damn fucking annoying. Like, they really do ruin everything. It's like all the annoying kids, especially for my millennials out there. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm certain a lot of you guys do, because I don't think anyone will forget about this. Like, when we were young, in like the 2000s, okay, specifically people who were like born in the 1990s, like 1990 to 1995, so around younger people compared to people who are millennials who were born in the 1980s. Like, I'm certain you guys remember how damn annoying a lot of these Gen Zers were when they were kids. And I'm not gonna front though, they were hella annoying, a lot of them. Like, all those annoying kids who used to always say the same jokes over and over again till it got lame, and they just ruined everything. And all these people who were just these annoying kids, it seems like all of them are just grown adults now, and they're fucking ruining everything, just like, when they were kids. It's like that. It just sucks because the more and more people look at the things these influencers do, the more and more people are just going to say, you know what, if you guys are going to act like this because you want to be rich and famous so much, then we're just going to take away the ability for you to become rich and famous, and stuff. And that's just sucks because it's just ruining things for everybody else, And of course, back to the main point of this video, it just makes it more likely we won't be able to enjoy materialism and entertainment, because materialism is something to make the entertainment into more enjoyable. It's supposed to sell something interesting to people, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here, to be quite blunt and honest with you. Okay, it's something that is a part of character development. Is it sometimes oversaturated and there's too many songs talking about being rich and famous? Yes, for certain there is. I'm not gonna hide my words, there is, but it still offers some degree of a character development, whether it could be all the medias I've mentioned before that are story-based, like TV shows, movies, video games, and of course music. It just helps enhance the experience of it. But if you have these people who act like this, it's just going to make it more likely people are just going to say, you know what, let's not talk about those things at all, because all it's going to do is encourage people to stoop to extreme lows to become rich and famous, with a good example being influencers. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So that's why I have to say influencers suck, and I truly believe the solution, if there's any solution, that there is to this story is that we should actually really start considering banning TikTok. I think TikTok should be banned because most influencers come from there and they ruin literally everything, and that's the honest truth here. But anyway, the point, you know, this is my video. This is all to say, and simply put it, the message of the video is that influencers are ruining everything, and we have to do something to stop them. Because if we don't, they're gonna ruin things more and more, and they're gonna help ruin entertainment from what it already is, in the state it is today. And that's the truth. So anyway, this is my video. This is all to say, and simply put, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is off to say, and simply put, I'm out. So bye.